Greetings and welcome back once again to my channel. Today we have the Judgment card, the Nine of Wands in the past, and the Chariot. If you're curious what these cards look like in the Rider-Waite series, we have a man protecting boundaries, looking exhausted and tired in the Nine of Wands. We have the Judgment card, people being awoken from the dead. And then we have the Chariot card. We have a man geared up for battle. He actually appears like a gladiator, and he is the leader and orchestrator of a chariot with his two, what looks like sphinx, leading or carrying him away. Now, before we get into the reading, I want you to see something here. All of the numbers on the cards, the 9, the 20, and the 7 together add up to 9. So the number 9 is very powerful for this reading, and it emulates a very strong masculine vibration, or a very strong alpha female. So whoever this reading pertains to, they have been in a position where they have had to either become an alpha or a strong divine male or an alpha female, or they started off that way. But regardless, the 9, as this reading has a lot to do with 9, it exhibits immense strength. It's a masculine number, and it's strongly associated with Mars. Here, the Nine of Wands also has a strong association with Mars, as it is represents the second decan of Sagittarius. And I'll get into that in a second, okay? Whomever this reading is about, they've had to exhibit strong warrior-like qualities. And that's why I showed you what the Nine of Wands looks like in the Rider-Waite series. This person is exhausted, and no matter how worn down they are, they're ready to battle. No matter how badly injured they are. This is the equivalent of, a Marine in foreign territory being wounded, healing up his wounds, and still getting ready to act like a sniper and take on an enemy with his tactical knife. And you see it here again in the porcupine. With the porcupine here, this porcupine is ready to, shoot off its quills at any moment, and it'll do so without really thinking about it. So, we have this strong battle type energy here, and this is also exhibited in the Chariot. And the Chariot is literally harnessing this 9, this numerical 9 vibration of warrior and Mars, because Mars is ruled by the Roman god of war. And with the Roman god of war comes the final judgment and the end of times. And sure enough, we've got the Judgment card in this reading. So somebody has had to go through a huge battle in their life, and they have had enemies coming at them. And this Roman god of war that's circulating within this vibration of 9, that encompasses strength and courage and a warrior spirit, discipline and focus. This is somebody who's had to defend their boundaries in the past because those boundaries have been violated. However, this also exhibits somebody who might be prone to anger and unstable emotions, and sometimes can be dictative. So whoever this reading's about, they have to be very sure to learn from their mistakes in the past when they were defending themselves, and be disciplined and focused with their abilities so as to not become too domineering or cut the throat. This reading symbolizes two major elements: fire, fire, and water. And this shows me that in the past, when you have fire and fire combined, there was a lot of ruthlessness and intensity with a lot of the decisions that had to be made. There was constructive movement forward, intense action, but there was a destructive aftermath when, after pushing forward, there was destruction there. And as a result, somebody in this reading has either had to call for assistance and or they've also had to reflect on the decisions that they had to make as a result of feeling as if they are under attack. Okay, so we've got the fire, we've got the huge, sorry, the fire, and then we have the water element. This is about simmering down the heated intensity in order to make more constructive movements forward based on what we've learned from our previous experiences. The Judgment card is all about awakening and reflecting. It is strongly associated with, I believe, Pluto, the planet Pluto. And the planet Pluto has a lot to do with reflecting on the past, digging deep into one's self conscious in order to unravel issues that have not been dealt with for a very long time. So, Pluto is about looking into your shadow self and having to kind of assess how you've acted and behaved in the past. This is the point in time now in your present where you overcome the obstacles that you encountered in the Nine of Wands when you had to defend yourself and maintain boundaries. This is when you focus in on certain areas of your life and reflect and get rid of certain aspects of the past. And in the Guardian Knight Tarot, the snake is described as shedding its past, healing oneself, and being reborn with a new attitude and a new perspective. And you see the Nine of Wands, this person was wounded. They were wounded and they had to battle very ferociously in order to maintain their boundaries. And they had to withdraw at times. They had to withdraw and reflect, and they were somewhat constrained from forward movement. But now things are changing for them, and their situation is changing. And then they find themselves in the honey badger energy. This is an energy of progress and action, determination and willpower, control and direction, courage, willpower, and control. This is a result of having gone through the judgment. This is a result of having an awakening, being able to execute forgiveness and either being a recipient of mercy or giving mercy to those who constrained forward movement in the past. So you are a warrior now, but with somewhat of a gentle heart that has compassion for humanitarian issues, is capable of defending and protecting those that they love. Um, but this is a point in time now where you are time where you can be self-reliant, you can move forward, and nobody's going to stop you at this point the way that they did in the Nine of Wands. This is your time. Nobody's going to derail your progress like you had to worry about in the Nine of Wands. You have gone through a period of serious, what is the word that I'm looking for? You've got serious reflection. There's been a reckoning, there's been judgments, and you have redeemed yourself for any of the mistakes you made. But now you can harness all your strengths and the learned lessons in order to protect yourself in a different manner from your enemies. And you do that with the honey badger. So it is time not to care. You don't have to hold yourself back. You can take what you want. Just remember not to become too cocky and to be too brute in your force. I found a wishbone hiding in my kitchen, so hopefully this is a good omen for your readings today. Be careful what you wish for. However, what you wish for will come true. And that's your reading today with Madame Sharkan.